Okie dokie. It's a Benz. Alright. See how this goes. Monday, Monday, Monday. Swagalicious. What's up, Tone Deaf? Thanks for being a trooper. Yeah, why do they have to make so many different kinds of like USB connectors now? Like, look at this one. Like these two. Like, what's the difference between these two? Type C and then type A. One of them's Type C. So like, yeah, like GoPro takes one, and then the other GoPro takes another one. Who knows? Change of scenery, always nice. Got a raging stovepipe behind me. Cool. Looks like we're in good shape. Funny thing is, it doesn't seem like things are going. Allegedly, we're working. Not really a pain. It's just inconsistent. Hello, Mr. Tyrant. So, let's see. The last time it didn't show up in anyone's email, the alert. That's okay. Who needs that? Okay. Let's get set up here. I have a sneeze coming, but whatever. Let's just deal with it. What are my thoughts on the Anjunabeats label? Yeah, I don't have very many thoughts about that. Good music. Yeah, just one of those timeless, not major but major labels, like major in like relative to electronic music kind of thing. So no more tutorials for Bitwig. Yeah, I need to get on that. It's one of the things I need to get on. Just things have been kind of chaotic lately. I'm gonna start covering Bitwig 2.0, point whatever it is now. Any news on that tour? Not currently. Still figuring some stuff out. There's a project we are starting that's really weird that we might work on a little bit tonight, actually. But yeah, is there social media for that yet? doesn't seem like it is. No, no social media at the present moment for that project. I think, yeah, like when we're ready, you'll hear about it, like that sort of thing. So there's like, yeah, a lot of things going on. Bitwig 2.3. You know what's really exciting about Bitwig? And why I really appreciate it. And I'm still using version 1. But Bitwig is just, it is there to be a direct competitor to Ableton, and I think that's very important. And it's gonna, hold feet to the fire, so to speak, and you know, it's gonna raise all boats, as they say. So, yeah, I really appreciate Bitwig. I think it's a clever way. Yeah, a lot of like clever things they put into it, like the sandboxing and things like that. And when the modular system comes out, oh my goodness, that is going to be awesome. But yeah, I guess they're not pushing it out when it's not ready. So it might be ready in 3, but it's kind of down the road. Let me go to that Bitwig future. Bitwig future, Bitwig development future. They had a roadmap on their site. I don't know where that is. Yeah, maybe they don't have it anymore. On any new devices. But then what's in the future? Anyway. Yeah, the modular system. Oh, and then online collaboration through, I guess, like a server or like P2P. So yeah, it's one of those exciting things. I haven't downloaded 2 at all. Like, I'm still using the version 1, which is the version that I have. I haven't gotten around to getting that, but yeah, super exciting. Funny enough, I haven't downloaded the release version of 10 because I am very far away from the studio. Yeah, I am in a very cozy cabin. Got the stove going, got all that fun stuff popping. So let me just get that going on. But Bitwig, yeah, Bitwig, really exciting stuff. Super exciting. You got your stepdad making music. Well, now it's a family affair. And yeah, when that starts happening, you're opening up a door of awesome. Do I use acoustic treatment in my studio? Yes, I do. I use just simple Auralex foam. And I'm going to get to a point after that. And I use something called Roxel in these bass traps that I made, kind of broadband bass traps in the corners. That's all I use. But I was thinking, and this is kind of like a PSA that I make every couple years, and that is don't use cheap foam. Use Class A fire-rated foam. So Prime Acoustic, Auralex. Don't get cheap foam because it's flammable. And the Station nightclub fire is a horrifying thing to see because the guy used like bed foam, which is super effing flammable. So, it's not worth it. And yeah, I'm going to do a video where I take a torch to various foam situations. So, yeah, PSA, don't cheap out on foam. Plus, like that mattress foam isn't good for audio. It's not absorbent. Like, don't put depends on your wall. The stove is lit. Literally, it is lit. It is going. You can feel the heat. There's snow outside, which is the blinding light that you see. No lights around the house. It's just psh. But it's rather cold. And that is Canada for you. Yeah. Lit indeed. I won't be able to do track feedback. I don't have that infrastructure set up. But very soon I want to do something like that, because that's apparently the soup of the day. And, you know, the whole idea for this channel and a lot of other channels is free education, right, on YouTube. You know, support if you want, whatever, but it's free. The disadvantage as opposed to a school or institution is you get feedback for your tracks at a school, kind of like a one-on-one, 1-on-20, however big the class is. So it's really cool to see, you know, like You Suck at Producing, Zen World, who's that other guy? Seven Skies. You know, all of my YouTube brethren doing track feedback, and I think that's an excellent thing, and you know, it's very valuable, and you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I get that a lot. But if I put it together in a format that works for everyone, then yeah, I can do it. And I got some ideas about how I'm going to do that in a different way, i.e., I don't care if anyone kind of takes the idea, it's not that creative, but send me your project file. I will open up your project file and I will do feedback on that. It's like, oh no, try this with EQ, and I'll actually show you how to do it, how I would do it, really. And I think that kind of feedback is good. You know, instead of saying, it's like, you got to pan your snares or pan your hi-hats or whatever, or your bass is muddy, fix the problem, demonstrate how, kind of thing. Like, it's like and you know, you can like enlighten a bunch of people about how to do that. What about FLPs? Like FL Studio, geez, I don't even know. Like, that's one of those things that it's kind of complicated to me. Even though that's what I started on, it's just, it doesn't work for my brain. It's like a lot of menus opening and closing. But you never know, maybe. Can I get a shout out, please? If I could pronounce your frickin' name, I could. Give me a pronunciation key for your name and I'll give you a shout out. Okay, here's one thing I can never understand. Something called beat loops and sample packs. Those are there. Okay, so there's two school of thoughts, and kind of how I see it is two things. Those are used in two ways. To be used in the track, and if they fit, they fit, and you should never feel guilty if they fit. 9 times out of 10, they don't fit. They could be used as a placeholder. So say you want to get, like, you know, some other things down, but you need like a quick kind of beat thing that you're going for as a reference to build the rest of your track, and then you can come back and then replace those. Or you could chop them up, or you could take like little bits of it. You know, beat loops are essentially how you would make tracks back in the day, because you would sample like a house loop, and that's what you'd build your track out of. So it kind of goes back to antiquity. But yeah, creativity. What even is that? If you take that beat loop and that's your track, yeah, that's not creative. But if you take that and you recontextualize and you extrude and massage things like that, then I think that's creative. You've been with me for 3 to 4 years now? Hell yeah, veteran right here. Um, you bought a Moog Sub Fatty? Good choice. Yeah, can't complain. I'm not a analog synth guy, but whatever. Okay. Wu Chek Chesney. There's your shout out, sir. Okay, I'm not sure if by YouTube standard you're a success. Well, I don't have 1 million subscribers, but I'm contributing to genre music that I like and kind of I don't know what to call myself. Success to me was I don't know what is success on YouTube. It's a matter of like relative. It's relative to a lot of things. Success is having people in my chat and having people kind of appreciate what I'm doing. Like the subscriber count, yeah, it's cool. The view count, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, it's like I'm not, yeah, I don't even know. Loops as a reference is how I eliminate beat block. That's a good point. That's a good way to put it. Instead of struggling with something, put that down, get other ideas, come back to it. When you put something in there, you don't have to stick to it. You can change it out, switch things up, and things like that. Can you connect Ableton with Reason? I think you can. Yeah, Rewire. You can connect them with Rewire. How many tracks do I average in a song? Depends. Some of them there was like 80. But yeah, some of them there was 80. Some were 30. You know what I mean? Try my name. There's a lot of squiggly lines over your letters there. Thomas, Tomas, Holek. I don't fucking know. Are you gay? Yes. Is it because I'm wearing a TNA shirt? How does one achieve pro quality, musically and sonically? Years of practice, introspection, experimentation, and applying, I guess, the scientific method. So you experiment, you see what works, you see what doesn't work, reject the things that don't work, refine your theory, and then continue and repeat. So if, putting a redux on a kick doesn't make it sound the way you want, then, try something else. Try a combination of EQ, try a bit of saturation, try putting a sine wave under it, try layering it with another kick. Just keep on going. Do I have commercially successful tracks? I just made an album and I hope that will become fruitioned. See the stove location. Middle of nowhere, Canada. Cabin, cold, satellite internet. Success is having wood burning heat when it's freezing outside. Yeah, exactly. It's not my cabin, so I'm not raking it in, but yeah. Ever thought about doing a Slate Digital versus Similar Waves plugin shootout? No, and that's something that I've kind of avoided. I want to be. I did a YouTube review of a software product that really sucked, and I slammed it, and that was just not cool to do. What I do is I like to accentuate the positive of software and certain things like that. I would never. I don't want to say. I don't want to be like hypercritical of something or compare one company to another, because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, and my goal is to contribute, not compare. I'll just say they're both good, um, different approaches, different like methodology, I guess, different reference units, different compromises. I'm not gonna say it's not up to me to say this emulation is better than that emulation. It's not up to me to do that. That's inappropriate in my opinion. So yeah, um, so those videos aren't gonna happen really. It's up to the consumer to decide whether these things are which one works for them. So there's demos for a reason. Download them, try them out, see what you like, see what you don't like. I'll leave it up to KVR and Gearsluts to argue amongst themselves about which one's better and which one's not. Do I reference a lot? Yes, I do. Holy crap, I do reference a lot. I referenced so much music with this album that's going to come out, maybe in the spring. Holy crap. And it is like, I had to relearn production for this album. It was one of those things. I was losing sleep, but and I was confident but not overconfident, and I made something that because I couldn't use like the kicks I usually use. I had to use like I had to like redevelop a technique for different sounds, and I learned so much. It's like pulling back so much because EDM is like in techno and whatever is like super high energy, no dynamic, like make it as loud as you can, but like you know what we set out to make, and the concept was you know not that acoustic, um, uh, and so when you have like acoustic stuff, there's lots of harmonics that you want to not bury. So a lot of kicks and a lot of percussion are stripped down, so to speak, um, in their timbre and their frequency, to make room for these acoustic instruments that would get lost if you're approaching it as an electronic producer, electronic music club thing. So yeah, a lot of references. We referenced Lord, Fever Ray, The Knife, things like that a lot, but then we added our own thing. It was, and it's something that we're proud of, and like I don't know if you're ever in that situation and it comes down to I guess they call it nut cutting time. You get to the point and you're like burning the midnight oil. You're just going bananas, getting it done, and you do the absolute best you can, and then you send it off because we had a very hard deadline. You send it off, and then you listen to it, and you're like, "Oh my God, this is so bad, shit." Because it's like you psych yourself out. You're like, "This is so terrible," and I was like, I failed so effing hard. I failed, and I failed as a producer, and this is my first kind of foray as a legit album, and I failed. I felt like I failed, and I was really disappointed, and I was like, yeah, let's just not release it. It's just whatever. But something happened. This is an absolute true story. We hired some session musicians, um, and we sent it out to them to be like, yeah, here's the finished product. Thanks for taking part, things like that. And we were at this party, and then they just turned it on. They played it, and I was like, sober, whatever. And I was like, this is freaking awesome, because we had given ourselves like a couple weeks. Because when you're in it, you're focusing on each little thing and not like the full picture. It's really weird. It's like, how like you work on a track and you struggle with it, and then you put it away, and then you come back to it like a couple months, maybe even years later, and you're like, holy crap, this is good. Anyway, that moment happened to me, and it was like very moving. I was like, I set out to make exactly what I set out to make. It's like I couldn't see the forest from the trees, basically. So yeah, that's to answer your question. We referenced a lot, and we made something that is ours. And when it comes out, I'm gonna be posting it on my mom's refrigerator, so to speak. Like, it is something that is freaking amazing. Like, holy crap, there is a few moments in there that I just want to like just lean back and just be like, yeah, I did that. I did that. That was my idea. I helped do that. And a lot of credit goes to the musicians that were on it and the development of the tracks over the last 2 years. And you know what? I can't freaking wait. There are some moments where it's like, it's yeah, electronic acoustic hybrid, and it is freaking banana sandwich. So yeah, I hate to hype it up, but I'm hyping it up. I just want to say your Vancouver club stuff is awesome. It really gives a disco house feeling. Man, that was so long ago that I made that disco stuff. So the Vancouver club story is, I have so many aliases, and I've made so much music under different names. Um, and Vancouver Club was one of them, and it was a direct reference or an inspiration of Le Nightclub, which is one half of Daft Punk's his kind of pet project, I guess, if you want to call it that. And yeah, I went totally crazy just finding disco records and sampling things and releasing it. It's super fun to do. Disco house and like things like that, filter house, French house, totally into it. Really fun to do, and yeah, enjoyable. Um, what? Yep. Okay, let's see here. Whoa, got a lot of things in there. Do you always EQ kicks you purchased? You should always be processing everything. And it's very rare that you will find something that you don't need to process in some way. Um, Dry samples, maybe, I don't know, but everything has a little bit of something on it. Put an OOT on it. There was no OOT at all. Not quite a Spangle type of album. It is. It's electronic and folk music with a bit of prog rock, a bit of a bunch of stuff. It's cool. Okay, I'm just going through the comments. Sorry. Best way to improve is to experiment a lot. That is very true. Hmm. Um. Uh. Yeah, yeah. It was a self confidence issue, and it was like, yeah, I describe it as not seeing the forest through the trees. That just resonates with what kind of happened. What's my most famous alias? Probably, geez, hard to say. I don't know. I got some success from an artist that is an alias, Biggs and Wedge, which is a reference to Final Fantasy, which is a reference to um, uh, Star Wars. I had a couple aliases made out of Guardian Forces from Final Fantasy VIII. So like Quetzalcoatl, that's me. Ifrit, that's me. But that was like almost 10 years ago. How do I deal with motivation? Trying new things. Motivation. So they've done studies on this, and motivation and the reward systems are tied to serotonin and dopamine, respectively. And dopamine is the reward, serotonin is the motivation. So there's a couple ways to boost serotonin. And, I won't get into it. I got into it 1 or 2 streams ago. And that is, I've struggled with depression over the years. But motivation. So I want to talk about boosting serotonin, and that is, getting out there and not being in the community. So when the Jordan Peterson video happened, the lady brought up that we should all live our lives like lobsters, which is pretty freaking funny. But I looked into that, lobsters and serotonin, and serotonin levels are affected in the lobsters the same way they're affected in humans. So if you are like ostracized from your community or things like that, or you don't see yourself as valuable, then your serotonin dips and then you become a sad lobster, right? And we're connected to lobsters, all right? So I'm going to back up just a second here. So the brain, our brains are very complex. And how it works, as far as I know, is the brain reuses systems that are already there. So say social disgust or embarrassment, like someone's like, disgusting, or that's not what I want to say. Someone is, socially awkward, or someone is abusive to their partner or something like that, or someone abuses a child, right? Like the thought of that makes you sick. The reason why is because when the social aspect of our brains kind of went put together, the brain wasn't like, let's create a new part of the brain that will deal with social like bad things socially, like people that like hurt other people or things like that. Let's just reuse a part of the brain that is already there. So the brain reuses the part for disgust. The same thing that makes us avoid like rotting meat, disgust, is the same part that deals with social disgust. The brain just says to hell with it, we'll just reuse the same location for the same thing. So when socially you are ostracized or you feel like you disappointed someone, the same part of the brain lights up that lights up when you're being hunted by a predator. It's like, ugh, like there's something after me, right? It's really fascinating. So there's been a link to people who volunteer or are valuable members of their community. They have this boosted serotonin in their brain, and they have better emotional regulation. So, staying inside all the time kind of uses the same pathway, or like, and it just becomes compounded, blah blah blah. So, yeah, boosting serotonin. There's plenty of ways to kind of do it, I find, and that is being a valuable member of your community. Like I'm talking to people or whatever. Kind of, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of a valuable member of my electronic community. I help out. It gives me a sense of uh, worth in the world, and yeah, serotonin is boosted up. So there's that. And serotonin is motivation. Dopamine is the reward. Now, dopamine is really fascinating because I'm going to use, let me think of an example. So you really want something, a partner or like a world record. Think about, I'm going to talk about speedrunners. So speedrunners are people that play video games and they compete to get the fastest time, and they will try hours upon hours, hundreds of hours of attempts to break world records in these games. And how you would think it works in regards to dopamine is as you get closer and closer to the reward, dopamine rises, and then when you get the reward, dopamine spikes, just goes way up there. That's your reward. That's actually not true. Dopamine actually spikes right before you get the reward. Right? So like if you get close to something and you're like, oh my god, like whatever, like you know what I mean? Like you're in the chase, dopamine, your brain is flooded in dopamine. Then when you get that, it tapers off, which, you know, freaked a lot of people out because it's not actually the reward center, it's the uh, keep it, you know, it's like a carrot on a stick sort of thing. So Dr. Robert Sapolsky, he talked about dopamine, and he studies baboons, and he's a neurobiologist, a really smart guy, really fascinating guy to listen to. And he talked about, and I'm butchering this because I'm not a freaking scientist. He was talking about baboons or monkeys, how they get the reward system. If they press a button, they get their reward, which is food or whatever. And they monitor their dopamine levels, as far as I know. They press a button and they get the reward. If you set it up so you get the reward 50-50, the dopamine in these monkeys went bananas because you introduced maybe into the equation, in his words, which is really fascinating. Yeah, so motivation. You should be motivated to improve yourself, motivated to, right? And if you know, if you're lacking community and you're feeling kind of shitty, I'm not gonna say, well, why don't you go get a hobby? Hobby's not gonna do it, I don't think, because you already have a hobby. I would say start an electronic musician meetup in your living room. Go out. Just get out there. Get on your bike and go to meetups. Go to a music store and chat with people. I don't freaking know. Like, do all that. I don't know if that's helpful, but you got a bad relapse of anxiety. Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been agoraphobia. I used to only be able to go out at night for like less people, less cars. I used to do my grocery shopping at 2 in the morning. Yeah. And like the very idea of like waiting in line for coffee was like terrifying for me. hmm Yeah, there's communities on the internet as well. So yeah, here's a story. I had a full-blown anxiety attack when I was maybe 15, and it was crazy, like sweat dripping off my fingers. It was full-blown. It was crazy. And yeah, I thought I was dying for a couple months. It was insane. And what helped was I went on MSN groups, which doesn't exist anymore, but I found a group of people that suffered the same thing. And other people were like, yeah, I check my pulse several times a day also. It's like, you know what I mean? And then that helped so much. Community, people who fucking get it. That's important. But yeah, we're off the rails here. What made you get into recording yourself being camera shy, as 99% of smart European people? What made me getting? It was a slow process, and there's a video that I did, the story about this microphone, and I basically talk about the first microphone I bought to start the channel, and how freaking scared I was of recording myself, and now it's like nothing, no biggie. It's not even, like, I'm relaxed right now. But before I would have like clammed up. It's just all about like exposure therapy. Because the worst that's going to happen is someone's going to call me a fig, or someone's going to be like, you suck. But it's not going to ruin my day. Making techno music is kind of therapeutic for you. Yeah, no, it is. It is therapeutic. It's kind of like, you know, but some people like fishing. And they're just like, yeah, when I'm on the boat and I'm fishing, I don't give a shit about the mortgage. I don't give a shit about the divorce. I don't care. I'm just fishing, dude. And I get it. Because when I'm making music, when I'm like in that zone, which doesn't really happen on stream, but off stream, I get into these modes where like I'm just a passenger and I'm like on fire and I'm just doing stuff. It's amazing. And like everything's working. And you're just kind of doing stuff. Yeah, experimentation's fun too. There's no bones about it. But yeah, I describe it as my body is on fire. And I'm like vibrating and like my hand's reaching for something. I'm like I didn't even tell my hand to reach for something, but it's doing it anyway. It's like a weird thing. You gotta just keep your eye on the ball. Anyway, just going back. How am I doing now? I'm good. It's always kind of on my radar. Something that I have to be on top of. It's kind of like an alcoholic. You gotta like think about it and be like, all right, where am I today? Am I tempted to drink? Do I need to go to AA? Things like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do I need to do? You monitor your sleep, how you feel, things like that. I have avoided the bad stuff lately. So, yeah, no, it's I've been pretty good, given the winter and the lack of sun. But yeah, I've been pretty good. It's just something you got to keep on top of. You know, and it's so weird. It's like music people are very prone to mental health issues, and I kind of see myself as an advocate, or not even an advocate, just someone who talks about it, because no one talks about it. There's a shame to it. And I think that's bull poop. That's not good, because that just compounds the bad feelings, you know. And if I'm just like, if there's a guy who's willing to talk about it and be like, hey, I've been there. I've been there, and I wasn't able to lift my arms, and I thought I had a stroke. It was so bad. Once you hear someone say that, you know, it's like the stigma. You got to get rid of the stigma. You know what I mean? It's like AIDS. What AIDS was is there's like a fear of it. You know, and like the demographic is 18 to 35 males, and you know, music people. And if you're into music creation, there's a good chance that you're introverted. And introverted people are the target group for feeling this way. And the horror stories about DJs getting depressed because drugs are everywhere and alcohol, and you get free drinks. And it's like, it's like, who's your friend? People are after you. You know what I mean? You're on a plane all the time. You're not sleeping well. It's fucked up, and it gets to the point where you're just like, oh, something's wrong with me. But that's not true. It's not true at all. Yeah, 18 to 35 male music producers, i.e., creative people. That's like prime suspects. So I take it upon myself to just talk about my experiences openly, and there's no shame. No shame. No shame in talking about it. Doesn't make you weak. Yes, the usual suspects, indeed. We're all at high risk. So keep on top of it. And if you're feeling that way now, and you're watching this, please take it from someone who's been there. Go to a parent, a loved one, a doctor. If the doctor doesn't help you, go see another one. Go to the clinic. Go to the ER. That's the emergency room. I'm not sure. And if you're feeling really bad, please call the suicide hotline and talk to a trained crisis. The people who are trained to deal with crises. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with talking about it. You know what I mean? It's like if you break your arm, you just don't set it into place and hold it for 8 months, being like, I don't want to seem weak. That's bullshit. It's not true. Not true at all. It's you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just. I was embarrassed. I was insulted when the doctor said, I think you have depression. I think you're depressed. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I thought I had diabetes, or I was celiac or something. You know what I mean? Like, that was the only explanation I had to explain the psychomotor retardation that I had. Thoughts of microdosing psychedelics. If your brain is not doing well, I don't think that you should be introducing chemicals in it. And the first thing that they tell you to do is to quit smoking marijuana. And yeah, that might be a good idea, because that affects greatly your brain chemistry. You upregulate or downregulate based on what you put in there. And yeah, that can make you depressed or cause something, And it's proven that it causes psychosis. It can lead to psychosis in young people. Can you tell us the dead mouse story blocking you on Twitter? No, well, it's whatever. I don't care. It's like he took my sarcasm talking about someone critiquing his performance on YouTube or on Twitter, sorry, that he should get on the mic and jump up and down, be more exciting. And I was listening to those things off. It's like, be the caricature of whatever. And I was like, wear like those weird pants and like a muscle shirt that says something on it, and play Big Room House and jump up and down. And it's, it's obviously caricature, a stereotype, and everything that is wrong in the make bangers situation. Um, yeah, and then I guess he took me seriously, and then I said something about, it's easy to do when you put cocaine on your rider, which, yeah, absolutely happens. Anyway, uh, yeah, and I guess he blocked me, so whatever, fuck it. He can block whoever he wants. It's his fucking internet. Yeah, well, Deadmau5, a lot of people have fucked with him, so I don't blame him for being kind of vigilant. It's just, whatever. Yeah. Bye, Josephine. The 1.5% right there, guys. 1.5% of my viewership is female. Dumb music is more. It's not dumb music. It's just digestible music. It's like we're humans. We like things that are familiar. It's just a familiar music. So like, there's always a trend. It was the 303 back in the day, and like drum machines have made an insurgence in the last couple years. It's like we're processing 909 kicks again. So yeah. So yeah, maybe when like that big room kick was popular for a while. I don't know. Uh, Deadmau5 has, I guess you'd call it, defense mechanisms. And I guess, he just, I don't know. I'm sure he's a cool guy. Yeah, he is good. But, yeah. How do you express yourself in music? You know what? I'm gonna use painting as an example. You can worry your whole life about what people will think, and you'll cater your art to what you think that people like, and I think that is a complete waste of time. Um, Real art is just taking a shit on a table and saying, "Here's my expression." And what I mean by that is, be bold and take risks. Like poetry is like, there's poetry I think that's just garbage fodder, but then there's poetry that like sticks. You know what I mean? So yeah, just take risks and be bold. And that's how you express yourself. You express yourself, and you cannot fail at self-expression. And if you competently make a media piece of whatever, and you put it out there, you are expressing yourself. As long as you're authentic to yourself, then you've already done that. So that question is answered. Sea Level Kane versus Stipe, who wins? Uh, Cain Velasquez, before destroying his knees or after? I think. I think, yeah, Sea Level Kane could take Stipe. Has a higher gas tank. Yeah, Skrillex is his own thing. This computer sounds like it's about to take off. You know what? There's personas. There's personas online. You know what I mean? I don't think Deadmau5 laughs at memes all day. I don't think he. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows though? Yeah. Do I like Armin van Buuren as a producer? I don't think he produces. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Yeah, I don't find him to be artistically valid. Psytrance is pretty dope. Psytrance, yeah, it's always been around since the 90s. Yeah. How about DJ Snake and all those who snaps their new shoes on the mixer table? What? What are you talking about? Your views on using ghost producers? Yeah, sure. But just don't call yourself a producer if you use them. Just call yourself a male model who DJs. Yeah, yeah. There's this whole Armin worship that happened, and then he got big, and then yeah, it's just whatever, just fodder. Deadmau5, the reason, yeah, Deadmau5 was. I remember that guy. Remember when he blew up? That was cool. DJ Snake's Snapchat contains of shoes. Well, whatever. Some people really like shoes. Their identity is their shoes. That's cool. They can. That's just that's a sign of a complete lack of character. Not character, but someone who's devoid of personality. When they just say, "Look at the shoes that I wear. I made a consumer choice and bought shoes, and these shoes are how I express myself." You know what's a tragedy to me? Oh God. DJ Tiesto, back when he was DJ Tiesto, he used to be my hero so much. That guy was awesome. And then something happened and then he started dressing like a 12-year-old. Like, what the fuck, dude? You're 60! How old is he? Not to be ageist or whatever, but Jesus. Oh, he's 49. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. Piggybacking Martin Garrix into superstardom. Jesus Christ. Yeah, DJ Snake. I can't name a single DJ Snake track. Didn't he do that thing with Diplo? That like song that has a billion plays or whatever? Tiesto is 50. I think he's older than he is. Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm not hating because they have whatever. They can do whatever they want. And the reality is they have maybe 50 people working for them, so they have to make what they do economically feasible. So yeah, Tiesto does need to pander to the dude bros and the little kids and stuff like that. So Lean On. Yeah, that one. That song's actually pretty fucking dope. Turn down for what? Oh, that Little John. Yeah, yeah. Little John or Little John? I don't know. Yeah. Man, Tiesto used to fucking rock so hard. So good. So good. And then something happened in like 2009. He abruptly just switched formats. Like your favorite radio station switched to top 40. Yeah, you know, and all that stuff, like his Trance Energy 2001, 2000 set. Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ. And then Magic Music Live in LA. All that stuff. Oh my god, so good. So good. I can listen to that stuff now and I'm just like, oh, makes me fucking rock hard. Well, my niece and nephew aren't watching this. So good. Tiesto used to be so awesome. Check. Okay, when you're done the stream, Magical Journey, son. Nope. 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 Live in LA. Yeah, he has like the Magic 7. Yeah, Magic 7 live in LA. I'm going to type this out. You guys are going to Google that at the end of this stream and you're going to listen to it because it's so good. So good. Sunset on Ibiza and stuff like that. Yeah, all that stuff. Google that shit. Greetings from Russia. Hello. He did do a quick turnaround. It's just like, oh, ship is sinking. You know what? He still would have been successful if he stuck to it. Have I gotten any copyright strikes? Once, which was the Get Lucky. So Daft Punk, they or whoever released a teaser for Get Lucky or whatever. So I took that, I sampled it, and I made a track out of it. And then yeah, that was they took it down, and then I fought it, and then it got put back up. So yeah, that's the only strike that I ever had on my channel. The channel that uploaded it is called We Want Old Tiesto Back. I know! It would be awesome if he just, like, his retirement tour, he just did all the old school stuff. Like, that would be crazy. Crazy good. What's the strategy to master your equipment? Just use it. Use it all the time. Use it everywhere. Experiment. Read the manual. Things like that. Tiesto still drops a classic in his sets, so yeah, you know that it works. You know. Bonza Records also went to the shitter. Well, you know what? Yeah, I don't think it went to the shitter. I think it just like diversified and more of an aggressive release schedule as far as I know. They went to the shitter because I think they expanded too quickly and the Napster happened. I watched that documentary though, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that. A fan of that label so much. I I want to do my own bonsai documentary because I had this compilation that was released in Canada and it licensed all the bonsai stuff. And what happened was I was really into uh, DJ music. So it was like MC Mario mixed down. It was like this is what I thought electronic music was. I was like, it's like Sandstorm and like remixes of Beyonce and Destiny's Child and shit like that. This was back in 2000, maybe even earlier. And then yeah, I went into a CD store, which exists. I didn't have internet back then. Internet didn't exist. Or if it did, it was really expensive. You couldn't download anything. But I went into a music store and I went to the electronics section, which was this wide compared to like this whole store. It was like, it's like, electronic, the electronic section. And there was a CD case. It was a 3-pack, and it was like $30, and it was Raveolution by a Canadian label called Beat Buzz. And yeah, I bought that, and I put it on, and my mind exploded. And I want to do a video on that. That'd be amazing. What documentary? It was the Bonsai Records documentary. It was like the Red Bull one. If you look up Bonsai Records, it's the first thing that comes up. Do I appreciate Swedish House Mafia? Yeah, guys who actually produce and whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Do what you gotta do. The music, yeah, it was pretty cool. Like Greyhound and the one with Pharrell, I think. Whatever happened. Yeah, I've heard of NATO. NATO did an awesome track that I used to play. It's called Rise. That song's pretty cool. Japanese electronic music is interesting. Still don't know how to make pop music. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. You know what? Just keep on it. Um, Pop music is very much minimal. Minimal in its processing. Any tips on finishing tracks? Finish them. It's like any tips on finishing a puzzle? Finish the puzzle. Hey, from Russia. What's a movie soundtrack that I like? I was actually listening to some music soundtracks. Um, what's really interesting, I was listening to the Terminator theme, which came out in 1984, and then the Terminator 2 theme, and you can like kind of tell like the advancements of electronic music throughout that time. It's really interesting to kind of go through that, like Terminator 1 theme and then Terminator 2 theme. Um, there's that. What else do I like? The usual suspects like Hans Zimmer. Um, the Interstellar soundtrack was pretty cool. Yeah, I was listening to the Saw theme as well, like the first one. That one's pretty cool. Uh, Tubular Bells. Nine Inch Nails didn't make the soundtrack for Quake. They did, yeah, and some of the ammo boxes have Nine Inch Nails written on them. You Skyped with Hans Zimmer? Neat. Yeah, I like the Sunshine soundtrack as well. That one's good. Silent Hill, yeah, not the movie, the game. Oh my god, yeah, totally. Weird, weird sounds, kind of avant-garde, really creative. Those games are awesome. Thanks for watching, guys, by the way. Happy Monday. Yeah, the original Matrix soundtrack is pretty good. The one I made for it was also pretty cool. Yes. Oh, it's Tuesday where someone is. Did I read the Quincy Jones interview yet? Some of it. It's actually pretty funny. That's just an example of someone who doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'll just tell it how it is. Why not? Oh yeah, that guy Johan Johansson passed away. I think that's how you pronounce his name. May he rest in peace, sir. Look at that stove behind me. That's dope. That's lit. Yeah, well, it has to be. It's freaking cold in here, guys. If you stick around, you'll see me put a log in. Yes. Is it expensive living in your own house? This isn't my house. Yeah, the toque is necessary because my hair is scared and it's cold. Have I seen the new hologram technology Eric Prydz uses at his dance events? No. Let's look that up. Hologram technology. Remember when lasers were like the coolest thing? Oh yeah. Neato. That looks expensive. No longer on Wiener Island. Wiener Island is a fleeting memory. No, I'm still there. But yeah, it's just I'm in a different. Canada's a very large country. Gabber is pretty cool. It's rough here. It's not all sunshine and daisies. Would I ever play a guitar? Maybe. Oh, it's every day, bro. You know, it's really cool. YouTube actually has multiple camera setups. So that means that, yeah, multiple cameras. Yep, I have to be a little bit uncomfortable at all times so that I survive. Do I see music? I do. I associate certain sounds with colors. Yeah, so I guess some synesthete, or whatever you call it. There's some cross wiring there, obviously. I think, maybe. I don't know. Anything new that I've learned that I'm psyched about? In regards to like music production, live performance. I've been getting into that lately, learning some stuff, practicing, things of that nature. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Oops. Yeah, I got, oh man, there's so much music. And I haven't released anything since 2013. What games do you play? I don't play very many games. Maybe Skyrim with the Requiem mod. And a couple other ones like survivalism. Kind of like, it's what Skyrim should have been. Did you know you had shoutouts on Laidback Luke's vlog? No? What happened with that? Do you think AI will be able to create music on the same level? Creativity and kind of divergent thinking is quite advanced. Maybe a robot could do it, but yeah, I think we're a long way from that. Would I go on a world tour? Yeah. Chopping wood is good stuff. Survivalism is a great mod. Yeah, and like alternate start. You can start as like a prisoner or like a merchant or something like that. Yeah, just, posing as. Really? Damn. Laidback Luke gave me a shout out, eh? That's cool. Let's watch that. Can I watch that? Let's do that together. That's dope. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his. I don't care what you say. Whoa, dog. Calm down. I was trying to find his channel and like another video played. So he did a video on sound design. That's cool. Let's take a listen. He did that a week ago. I didn't know that he gave me a shout out.
Hey, what's up? This is Laidback Luke, DJ and producer, Kung Fu athlete, and dedicated dad. Sound design, the tutorial. As you might have seen on my Twitter, I am not very much a big fan of making sounds from scratch. I think it takes way too long to actually develop your own sound from scratch, losing your creativity in the moment that you need to be developing melodies or need to compress your beats or finish the arrangement of your track. And
I'm really glad that he's clarifying.
Instead of finishing a track in 4 hours, you'll be spending 2 weeks on a track, which I've done as well a lot. If you have a love and interest for synths, by all means, go ahead and go focus on that. Go and do sound design and whatnot. It's a free world and I won't ever stop you. But if you ask me, as a professional, I'd say sound design comes way later on. Definitely not in the first months you are producing. First try and learn all the other stuff. I just quickly want to latch on to the comments of last week. Shout out to Nick for making the top position again. How do you do that? But he has a good point. He says music is art, and when the Rolly people say that we gotta simplify music, what's left of it? Just very simply said, you can hand a monkey a computer and you can make him learn the alphabet, but that doesn't mean he'll be able to write a book. Maybe think about that. Tom Kreinen with his $50 offer for my apartment in Miami. Let me think about it. No. So this vlog is basically a quick, very quick walkthrough through a couple of my favorite synths right here. We're gonna go fast. If you just started out producing, I am sorry that we'll be racing through all...
Oh, I'm in the description. I thought he was gonna say. Cool. Okay, he doesn't say anything in the video. I just wanted to hear a Dutch person say my name. Anyway.
All of this, but like I said in the beginning, sound design is very much for the experienced producer.
Anyway. What do you link to? Oh, yeah. Neato. Anyway. Well, I'm not gonna subject you guys to doing that. Well, maybe. Yeah, let's just continue. It's only like a little bit.
Hey, what's up, guys? In this video,
That's not Laidback Luke.
at a
That's
couple
stop talking.
Laidback view on these.
No. There you go.
Hey, what's up? This is Laidback Luke.
Whoa.
I hope you can keep up on this one. Here we go.
Yeah, these are put together pretty well.
It was amazing to be back. A lot of people came out. Sound design, though. Did techno have anything to do with sound design? I'll tell you more in this vlog. So the sound design in techno really matters, but it's not about making your own sound from scratch. It's making sure you sound unique, and it's making sure that this synth works with the track and the vibe you're going for. An often overlooked synth in Ableton is the stock plugin, which is called Operator. Fun fact, I found out about Operator when I started this collab with Abstract, and I found out he uses Operator a lot. People don't realize how powerful of a little FM synth this is. So over here, this oscillator is just a sinus right now. Usually people set this...
Oh, you know what? I'll watch this later. Yeah. Okay. That's cool, though. I'm in the description. I'm in a laid-back description. lit. What are some music-related YouTube channels you like? Yeah, I like all of them. Is that an acceptable answer? I would say, yeah, there's too many. There's too many to mention. Whatever happened to Seamless? What's he doing now? What up? Welcome. Practicing finger drumming. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Making kick and bass lines bouncy. How you do that, I think, is you just make the kick short and the bass short. And then maybe you have like a more pronounced mid bass. The vocal cord stuff, I think, a little bit too expensive. It's a day bed, I think you'd call it. It's there's a couch and then a day bed. Any comedians that I recommend? Oh boy. I haven't really been into comedy lately. Amy Schumer, probably. Do I layer open hats? No. Like, yeah, like you layer open and closed, but it's cool to like pan them. Pan the open and the closed. It's I'm not even sure what it is. It's a cozy thing to lay down on to get warm and cozy. But to go back to the comedian thing, I think George Carlin. Yeah. Is my voice going out of sync? Anyway. Hope not. Is Rolling Cloud worth it? I don't know. I haven't really tried it out yet. It's out of sync. Alright, so I guess the stream is turning into a pumpkin. So yeah, that was a good stream. Thanks for joining. I thought we'd chill out and I'd get a stream in there so we can do a thing. So let's anything pressing that we can go about. If not, I might do a GoPro video. I don't know, outside. But yeah. Wait, what the hell? You're looking forward to the new Matrix? There's a new Matrix? Are you... Doesn't seem like it. Anyway, Reported that Warner Brothers early stage development relaunch. Well, yeah, it's like a guaranteed freaking $500 million opening weekend. Or whatever is a good profit. No, yeah, that's like major profit for those films. And they still own the rights to it, I think. Maybe they bought them or something. I don't think the Wachowskis are doing that. They're too busy enjoying their anonymity. Yeah, I might do that. Alright guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and have a good one. And let's chill again some other time. Alright guys. Shutting down the stream now.